In the last lesson, we talked about converting units of length, and in this lesson, we're talking about units of capacity and weight and mass and converting those, and it works exactly the same way. For example, here we have number 2, we have 3 gallons equals a certain number of pints. 3 gallons. Okay, so I have gallons here, but I don't see how many pints are in a gallon. So, but I do know how many quarts are in a gallon. So let me change that to quarts first. 3 gallons, let's see. So if I'm going from gallons to quarts, that's big to small, so that's multiplication, and there's 4 quarts in a gallon, so that would be 12 quarts. Okay, so now I have 12 quarts, and I can figure out how many pints are in 12 quarts. Then I'll get my conversion. So quarts to pints, I know pints are smaller than quarts, so I'm going big to small again, and I'm going to multiply by the number of pints in a quart. There's 2 pints in a quart, and then that gives me 24 pints. So there you go. So I had to do it twice because I don't have the information for pints to gallons. If you do have the information for pints to gallons, you go ahead and do it correctly, or directly. But this is what you would do if you just have one of those. So now we're going to convert 6 quarts to cups. So 6 quarts. Let's see. How many cups are in a quart? It does not say, but I do know how many pints are in a quart, so I'm going to change it to pints and then change those pints into cups. So 6 quarts, going from quarts to pints is big to small, so that's multiplication. There are 2 pints in a quart, so that gives me 12 pints. Okay, so now I have 12 pints. And now I'm going to convert that to cups. So I know that I'm going from pints to cups, so that's big to small, so that's multiplication. There are 2 cups in a pint, and I multiply that, and I have 24 cups. Oh, look, they're both 24. That's just a coincidence, by the way. So that's how you would do that. And now we have an inequality here. We have an inequality. 28 cups and 14 pints. So I need to change one of these to either change the cups to pints or the pints to cups. I'll change the pints to cups. I usually pick the bigger unit because then I would multiply instead of divide, and it sometimes makes it simpler. So 14 pints. So if I'm going from pints to cups, I'm going from big to small, which is multiplication, and according to this, there are 2 cups in 1 pint, so I multiply by 2 and I get 28 cups. So this becomes 28 cups, and look at that. This is 28 cups and this is 28 cups, so they are equal. So here we're going to do it, now we're going to do it with the metric system, okay? So I have 6,000 milliliters equals blank liters. So I'm going to start with 6,000. And milliliters are really small. It's like a dropper. Liters are big. So I'm going small to big. So that's division. Then I need to figure out how many times or how many milliliters are in a liter. So milliliters are here. Liters are here. And I just put a 1 here, and then I count the number of times I go from milliliters to liters, or the other way is fine too. 1, 2, 3. So I put 1, 2, 3 zeros. 6,000 divided by 1,000 is 6. If you can't do that in your head, this is what you can do. So I have 3 zeros here and 3 zeros here. And they cancel each other out since I have the same number on both sides. That becomes 6 divided by 1, and that is 6. So that's how I get 6. So now we have an inequality. Notice I didn't have to do multiple steps. The metric system is designed to be easier to compute. So these are actually a lot faster. So I have 525 milliliters on one side and 525 centiliters on the other. Okay, so I see centiliters are bigger than milliliters, so I mean I can convert either one of these to make it the same as the other one, but I'm going to choose the centiliters. So 525 centiliters. Centiliters are bigger than milliliters, so we're going from big to small, so that's multiplying. Now we need to figure out how much we multiply it by. In other words, how many milliliters in a centimeter. So we write a 1 here, and then we jump from milliliters to centiliters, and we only have one jump, so there's 1 0. So we multiply that by 10. That becomes 5,250 milliliters. So this one is clearly, this one's clearly bigger. So this is a less than symbol. Another way you can tell that tell which one is bigger, actually, you don't even have to do any math. This has the same numbers, and I know that centiliters are bigger than milliliters, so of course it has to be like this. The centiliters, it's the same number, but different units, and the centiliters are bigger, so 525 centiliters are bigger than 525 milliliters. Okay. Then we talked about weight. So, works the same way, except it's just different units. So for number 5 here, we have 23 pounds, and we are changing those to ounces. Now, ounces are small. There's 16 ounces in a pound. So we are going from big to small, so that's multiplication. And then we have 16 ounces in a pound. So we have to multiply 23 times 16. Notice that in the metric system, you don't have numbers like this. You just multiply by 10, 100, or 1,000, or divide by 10, 100, or 1,000. That's why other countries use it. Hopefully we'll use it too someday, consistently. Anyway, 23 times 16. 6 times 3 is 18. 2 times 6 is 12. Plus 1 is 13. Scritch, scratch, lay an egg. I like the chicken method the best. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. And I add them together, and I get 368 ounces. And there you go. And now I have 15 tons, and we want to convert that to pounds. So tons, of course, that's way bigger than pounds. It's 2,000 pounds. So we're going big to small again. So that is multiplying. And there are 2,000 pounds in a ton. So we multiply 15 times 2,000. And I'm going to ignore these zeros here and put them at the end of my answer when I'm done. So 15 times 2 is 30. Then I add these 3 zeros, and I have 30,000. So 15 tons equals 30,000 pounds. And this is ounces. Now we have an inequality. We have an inequality here. 130 ounces versus 8 pounds. No idea which one is bigger or smaller. So I'm going to convert the pounds to ounces. 8 pounds. Pounds to ounces is big to small, so that is multiplication. And there is 16 ounces in a pound, so I multiply that by 16. 16 times 8. 6 times 8 is 48. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 4 is 12. So this is 128 ounces. And now I can see, since they're both in ounces, I can see that 130 ounces is slightly more. So this is a greater than symbol. And finally we have mass in the metric, using the metric system. So, for decigrams, we're doing number 5, 4 decigrams to centigrams. Okay, so I have 4, and since decigrams are bigger, you can see from this chart, and centigrams are smaller, we're going big to small, so that's multiplication, and to figure out how many centigrams are in a decigram, I say, well, how many times am I jumping over 2 decigrams? And that is 1 step, so that's 1 0 after the 1. That's 40. Wasn't that math easy? 40 centigrams. No long multiplication here. So now I have hectograms and kilograms, and I need to compare them. I have 32 hectograms, and I have 3.2 kilograms. Okay, kilograms are bigger. I'm going to convert kilograms to hectograms. You could convert hectograms to kilograms. I just think it's easier to pick the bigger unit because you multiply. 3.2 kilograms, and since it's big to small, it's multiplying, and I put a 1 here, and how many jumps do I have to make to get from hectogram to kilogram? Just 1 jump, so there's just 1 0. So if you remember our how to multiply by 10, multiply decimal by 10, and how to move the decimal, you'll know that all you have to do is just move it over here. This becomes 32. If you don't remember that, you can just do it the hard way or the long way. 3.2 times 10. Ignore the decimal. 32 times 10 is 320. And then I have 1 digit after the decimal here, so I move my decimal 1 place to the left, and boop, there it is, 32. So this becomes 32 hectograms, and what do you know? They are equal now. Or they were always equal, but you can see that they're equal now.